I'm Big Screen Bearcon. Let's talk about The Mandalorian. The third season of The Mandalorian has officially wrapped up today with its 8th episode. I've been very clear in the past. I think The Mandalorian as a whole is a top 5 Star Wars project, which includes TV and film. In fact, I'd say it's probably in the top 3. And I've said that with just 2 seasons alone. Now, with this third season, I don't know if I could say that anymore. I still think it's one of the best Star Wars projects out there, but I do think this third season took a big step back. Everything we saw was enjoyable, it was entertaining, but it all just seemed a little bit too easy. I was expecting, and this probably is my fault for having too much expectation. I've said before, there's a difference between having expectations and understanding that that's not what's going to happen versus having expectations and being mad that your expectations weren't met. There's a fine balance, and admittedly, my expectations were not met, and I'm not very accepting of the results. It just seemed like season 1 was great, season 2 of The Mandalorian was perfect. Season 3 just came too easy. I very much thought we were going to get this in-depth, maybe somewhat dark story of the retaking of Mandalore and the fall of Mandalore. And we really kind of brushed over the fall of Mandalore, brushed over what really happened with Bo-Katan, why she lost the Darksaber from when we saw her in Rebels to now. And every little thing, every stepping stone they took was taken care of. In 40-minute episodes outside of like maybe one episode that was over an hour. Just felt like here's 8 steps to retake Mandalore. Each episode's going to be one step, and it's going to be this easy, clean process throughout. The show felt like it didn't have any risks, it didn't have any consequences, and it really had no stakes. Everything was just so easy and accomplished so easily. Episode 1, Din Djarin wants to become a Mandalorian again. He needs to bathe in the waters of Mandalore, a planet that's been abandoned and cursed. Within that episode, alright, done, bathed in the waters, had a minor hiccup here and there, but I bathed in the waters, I'm a Mandalorian again. We need to unite these two Mandalorian clans who for years have been at each other's throats. One episode, done. Easy. Bo-Katan doesn't have the Darksaber. Conveniently, within 1 second of saving Din Djarin, she feels suddenly like she earned the Darksaber later, which is fine. I didn't actually really have a big problem with that. But the Darksaber itself is full of plot holes, just with Bo-Katan accepting it in Rebels, and then in this series just very adamant about not accepting it under the wrong reasons. And speaking of the Darksaber, and yes, this is a spoiler for season 3 if you haven't watched it, but if you haven't watched it, I don't know why you're really watching this discussion. The Darksaber being destroyed in the finale, it was the only risk that took place in season 3, and I appreciate that. I don't mind the Darksaber being gone. It was full plot holes, like I said. It's cool to see for 3 seasons, but really it's run its course. I totally understand moving on from the Darksaber to tell new stories. Or who knows, maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they fix it. Its hilt was just bent. I'm sure it could be fixed in a new, exciting way, which probably most likely will happen. Just like every weapon that was broken in Star Wars history. I can't really even call it that much of a risk. I didn't like that the big finale reveal was that Din Djarin adopted Grogu, and Grogu became Din Grogu, because really, hello, they've been calling him Grogu's dad the entire season. Me and my wife both watched that and we're like, wait, isn't he already his dad? I mean, this is cute, but wasn't this already kind of established? You're just making it official. Is that the big moment of this finale? It just kind of felt cheap and honestly a little bit lazy. Incredibly cute, don't get me wrong, just lazy. Just like I said, the entire season of The Mandalorian just felt like they kind of ran out of ideas and they didn't really have a way to prolong the story. They knew how this wanted to end. It almost feels like also that they really wanted to do just kind of 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and then move on, but Disney was just like, no. And it does make me a little bit worried because we're supposed to get this movie down the line wrapping up kind of the Mandalorian universe. And to me, I'm worried if it is going to be centered around the Mandalorian and Din Grogu, just because I don't really know how much more story they have left to tell, which is incredibly weird to say because I do think this Mandalorian story was being used to propel the rise of the First Order for the sequel trilogy. I do think that is the main point of this story. they just didn't set up any seeds for the future with the season 3 finale. Now I'm thinking this story's really going to shift to Ahsoka and the Rebel story. Still, you're going to see some familiar characters, some familiar cameos from The Mandalorian, but I'm actually thinking maybe we're not getting a Mandalorian season 4 anymore. Maybe it really is just going to be Ahsoka and everything about that story being pushed forward, and then The Mandalorian and Grogu will come back for the Dave Filoni film, and everything will be wrapped up that way. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I made a video talking about the Star Wars universe, and I posted it on this channel earlier. I very much said I definitely thought we were getting season 4 because I did not feel like this season halfway through was really much of anything story-wise. And I said, well, that's probably going to pick up, and we probably will get a season 4. But like I said, the way they ended it with that really nice sunset for Grogu and the Mandalorian, it's just a little bit, yeah. Like I said, season 3 was entertaining. It was fun to watch, but it didn't really have any depth to it, unfortunately. So it kind of pulls back the series overall rating, in my opinion, but Mandalorian is still a top-tier Star Wars project. To end this video, I want to rank the live-action Disney Plus shows in the Star Wars universe. Starting at the bottom, The Book of Boba Fett. Then we have Kenobi, although I do love Kenobi. I did enjoy the series, had a lot of great moments, but it is still near the bottom. Then we have The Mandalorian Season 3, followed by Mandalorian Season 1, second best Star Wars season on Disney Plus, easily Andor. And at number 1, we have Mandalorian Season 2. Mandalorian Season 2 has an argument for peak Star Wars. Let me know in the comments your opinions about the Star Wars universe, Mandalorian Season 3. Be sure to hit subscribe, as we do have Ahsoka coming up, so we're going to have a lot to talk about and break down. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.